I hope your garden is doing better than mine. It's officially fall now, and I'm really tempted to just throw in the towel for this garden season. I had a very good spring, a great spring even, a very good summer, and then heading into fall now, it is rough. I made a video almost 2 months ago now, I think, about getting started early on your fall garden, because you really need to get plants out there and established before you start losing that sunlight. A good rule of thumb is to add 10 to 15 days onto that time of maturity. And here in Kentucky, which this is a wild stat to me, we had the driest August on record, but it is the 6th wettest year. So we started off with just rain. You know, July, we were 10 inches above the annual rainfall, you know, going into August, and then it just stopped. And that has been a big problem of, one, getting my fall plants started, getting carrots to germinate. I've had horrible germination on my carrots. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of cleanup today to see, you know, what I can salvage, clean up my beds, and just take an assessment of what can I, you know, finally harvest from the summer to just, you know, put that to an end. And is there anything I can do to salvage a fall garden? Now this plant right here is a type of amaranth. It's called a Chinese green or something like that on the seeds that I got. And I got it to be a summer green, but I never actually ate it as a summer green, but did use it as a trap crop. It looks like bugs loved eating this versus some of my other plants. So that was nice. I may, however, have made a mistake with this plant, because I did allow some of it to go to seed. And I do know that some species of amaranth are a big agricultural problem. So hopefully I do not come to regret planting this plant. And let's see if I can get some moisture into this bed, because there can become a point where your soil is so dry that it actually becomes hydrophobic, that it doesn't want to absorb water. Hopefully I'm not there yet.
Soil turns hydrophobic when its individual particles become coated in a waxy organic compound that works as a waterproofing agent. These compounds are created by fungal activity, and in healthy soils, microbes continuously break down these compounds. But when it gets too dry, the microbes die off and that oil starts to build up.
Next on my cleanup list would be these curly kale. I planted these a year ago, and they have produced a whole lot of food for us. But, you know, drought, they've been hit hard by harlequin beetles. And because of that, I'm actually gonna spray this pesticide before I pull them out, just to knock back these bugs, because they can fly and go to other brassicas. But I'm going to do it with a word of caution. It's a pyrethrin. So it's a naturally derived plant extract. It comes from chrysanthemums. And the thing with this is it kills everything. It kills the good and the bad. So I am very hesitant to use this in my garden because right on the other side of this camera are a whole bunch of zinnias. I have monarch butterflies flying around, swallowtails, and if they were to come into contact with this, it would kill them. It is non-selective, meaning that it kills anything and everything. But this, because it does not have any flowers, nothing is going to really be attracted to it. I'm going to hit this, cut it out, and then put it in my compost bin. Same, shouldn't be really attracting any beneficial insects over there. Ideally, I would love to just rely on nature, but not a lot attacks the harlequin bug. So sometimes I do use something like this, very selectively, ideally under row cover, so I can spray, and whatever is in that row cover is going to be hit with it, but something can't get in and come in contact. So even if something is listed as organic and safe, it can still have a big impact on your ecosystem. So let's get these out. It is fall, and it is in the high 80s. This is why my garden is struggling. Next, pulling out these cucumbers. There are still, they actually may be the same plant. They are. One plant is still green, still has some cucumbers that can ripen up, but a lot of this is dead material that I need to be removing. I really wish that I still had time for peas to produce. By the calendar, I do not. Now I've got the peas, I have the seed, I have plenty. So I am tempted to just toss them in and try, because even though we're losing that daylight, last year we didn't have our first frost, and it wasn't even a severe frost until November, and not a real like good killing frost that would take out peas until maybe December. So I have time as far as frost goes. And I've been doing a lot of succession planting. I've got stuff started inside right now that I'm hardening off this week to plant out about a month past when I should be planting it out. But all the stuff that I've put in the ground, my broccolis, my cauliflowers, my cabbages, Brussels sprouts, have either been hit hard by pests that I just cannot get under control, or the heat and the lack of water. I'm very glad that I am not a subsistence farmer, or that I'm like trying to make money off of this. Times like this, I really feel for those two groups of people. Gardening to make money, farming to make money, and to feed yourself and be so totally reliant on it is not easy. Actually, I just got notice that it might rain today. There's actually rain in the forecast for this week, which is a nice change in the weather. It is starting to rain, and this camera has almost no waterproof rating, so we're gonna go inside, take a bit of a break. Got a lot of tomatoes to process, so that's what I'll be working on. So we've had about 4 solid days of really good rain, and maybe I was a little premature in throwing in the towel on the fall garden. Now I've got several spots where the plants have died or just been eaten down to a nub, but I have replacements. So I'm gonna be putting those in right now. There's no rain in the forecast really for the next week, so they will need a little bit of attention, but finally the temps are cooling off. So maybe I was a little too quick to give up. You know, I've been gardening now at this point for the year since March, working on my garden. So it's been many, many months, and I'm getting a little tired. That probably played into it, the frustration of just seeing everything not go well. So if you are facing similar things with your garden, maybe don't give up just yet. My name is Tyler Lloyd. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of my life as a gardener, as someone who's transforming their property, and I wish you the very best. Until next time, see you later. Bye.